Hi, this is Lynn, and welcome to another Persuasion Byte, bite-sized tips on persuasion that you can use right away. Most of the time, we think we're dealing with people who have all of their marbles, and sometimes we're wrong. In our personal life or our professional life, we occasionally encounter people who are under what we call amygdala hijack, meaning the amygdala is the part of your brain that's responsible for making sure you feel safe. And when it doesn't feel safe, usually because fearful or stressed out or overwhelmed, what it does is it literally shuts down 2/3 of your brain. And the 2/3 include your thinking brain, which is where you can make plans and all of your higher logical powers. It also shuts down your emotional brain, which not only houses your emotions, but your decision-making capabilities. All that's left is your survival brain, where you have fight, flight, or freeze. So your usual approach to dealing with people who need some care or need to be listened to doesn't work. This happened to me with my brother, who suddenly had to be checked into the hospital for emergency surgery. And the day after he had the surgery, he was in a lot of pain, and all he wanted to do, he told me, was go home on Saturday, come hell or high water. And I'm thinking, well, let's think this out logically and figure out what it is that we need to do. And every time I said something like, well, we need to arrange for a home care nurse to come by and change your bandages. And that's hard to do when you check out on a Saturday because nobody's around. And his response was anger. He told me in quite colorful language what I could do with myself. And, when I asked if I could be there when the doctor was arriving, be there on FaceTime, his answer was no. And of course, I just thought he was being incredibly unreasonable until I realized, yes, pain and pain medications. He's lost 2/3 of his brain. So me presenting any kind of logical argument or assessment or anything other than really just listening to him and paraphrasing back what was going on with him was not going to work. So I said things like, it must be awfully hard to be in the hospital and be in pain when you'd just rather be at home. And got agreement on that. And I realized another important thing when you're dealing with somebody who's an amygdala hijack. Play back what their feelings are is number one. And second is you have to release the outcome. You can't tell anybody in amygdala hijack what to do, particularly people who are really angry with you. All you can do is listen and be there with them and know that this will pass. So release the outcome of not wanting him to go home. Ultimately, the good news was he didn't go home on Saturday. He ended up spending the weekend in the hospital, and when I spoke with him on Monday, he was in much better shape and was able to see some of the behaviors that he'd had when he was in fight and apologize for them. And I was also able to tell him how it felt to be on the receiving end of that. And both of us were able to promise to do something better the next time we were there. So when you're faced with somebody who's in amygdala hijack, the best thing to do is to be as calm as you can be, particularly when they're angry. Because if you react in an angry way, or if you start telling them what to do, all that does is escalate, and nothing good can happen there. Be there with them, reflect back what you think they're feeling, or reflect back their feelings if they're able to tell you what these things are, and know that in the moment, no, they can't make decisions. You have to give them some time, and you have to let them make the best choice for them, not necessarily the choice that you would want to make. And fortunately for me, my brother was able to make the choice that I preferred for him, but not because I said or did anything that pushed him there. Keep these things in mind when you're dealing with people who have lost their minds, because you can't be the most persuasive person in the room when they're in amygdala hijack, but what you can be is the most caring person in the room to help them get where they need to go. Thanks for watching.